Welcome to Chasing Excellence, the informative, educational, and entertaining podcast series featuring positive and inspiring stories of entrepreneurs. Now, here's your host, Kathy Hogan.
Hi, friends, and welcome to Chasing Excellence. Question for you today. How many of you like the excitement of a fast car with a loud engine? Show of hands.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
That's all us.
Amanda, you on board here? Ooh. Yeah. Well, today's guests are a new racing team called HRMotorsports, and Chad Hallmark and David Rivera are with us. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I have to admit that I love a fast car, especially a Porsche.
All right.
But I know nothing about racing, even though I come from a state that's well known for a big race that happens sort of around May called, you might have heard of it, the Indy 500.
All right. It's a good spot.
Yeah. Well, let's hear about how this team came together and what your plans are.
Sure. So David and I met when David was at another shop, in essence, and I had just recently moved from Santa Monica back to the East Coast, and kind of one thing led to another, and David and I hit it off very well and realized that when things were going to go a different direction, that David and I were going to be doing something regardless. And so we sat and had a conversation at Firemaker Brewing and kind of started from there. And now here we are. We've got a few Porsches now, and we're building up a little team and hopefully growing that team into something else here, a little bigger down the road. But we're starting with some baby steps right now, racing a lot with Porsche Club of America and probably doing some stuff with NASA and SCCA and those guys. A little bit amateur, just like I said, kind of taking some baby steps and getting started.
David, your take?
My take is, I was working at to start with, my background is at sports medicine and athletic training. So sports has always been sports, and motorsports has always been a big thing in my life. And, I did sports medicine for about 12 years and transitioned to becoming a technician. And I just had the passion for it. It was for me a natural kind of progression, and just making the parallels of working with individuals and understanding, the human body and systems and all of that. And then, I just quickly transitioned over to, automotive, just those kind of practical skills that I've gained throughout my career within the medical field, translated over into automotive as well. So I picked up everything from that very quickly. Worked at a company some people might know that is Carvana for about 4 years, kind of sharpened my skills there for quite a while, and wanted to get into motorsports. So, found a local team that was hiring, kind of established myself there for a little while, and was kind of limited. I felt limited because I, really wanted to pursue that as a business. From the beginning, after college, even with the degree that I have in sports medicine and athletic training, I pursued personal training, wanted to open a gym, and with my background, it was something that I wanted to make I always wanted to pursue something that I could build for myself.
I'm sorry, that's an interesting analogy between sports medicine and cars. So I guess it's a body of one sort or the other, right?
That's
Absolutely,
right.
Yeah. Just
I'm smart like that. I figured it out.
That's right. We're all just machines, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
true. Well, Chad, you've got a pretty impressive, resume.
Thank you.
With the racing industry. Do you want to hit on that a little bit for us?
Yeah, so my father raced sports cars when I was growing up, and I never knew anything different. Since I was a child, grew up at the racetrack and underneath cars and on top of cars and doing all that stuff with my dad, and it was just such a great bonding experience that I had with him. And so as I grew older and, you get to be a teenager and you know everything, we'd be out in the garage putting old Porsches together and realized that my father was very smart in the fact that he was keeping me closer to home. And when we were out in the garage and talking about cars, we were also talking about life. And a lot of times when you're, like I said, 15, 16 years old and you know everything and you don't want to tell your parents everything, but he was pulling stuff out of me that was great. And it was, like I said, it was just a great bonding thing. We started going to Sebring when, he went in the 60s. I started going in the 80s. And then we started racing there. So it's been a great adventure. Been very blessed to have met the people that I met in this industry. And to be able to still be doing it it's amazing. Yeah.
Sounds like you enjoy it.
I do.
Just a little, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So you like that energy too, right?
I do. Yeah. It's great. It's such a great hobby. And one of the things I like about it is that if you've done it for, like me, since you were a kid, great. If you realize when you're 30, you want to get into this, you can. When you're 50, you want to get into this, you can, and it's something similar to golf, that you can do well into your 70s. I mean, you look at Paul Newman, he didn't start racing until he was in his late 40s and got bit by the bug and then raced well into his 70s. So, yeah, it's a great hobby and it's a lot of fun and it's a great culture. We all joke, it's not the cars, it's the people. And that's one of Porsche Club's taglines. And it's very true. When you get out there and we all race each other hard and we're all trying to compete and everybody wants to win. But at the end of the day, if somebody needs help, we're all there. And we all, give each other a hand and do whatever you can to make sure that they're going to make the next race or make the next day. And, yeah.
That's teamwork.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Is that Porsche group, is it local or is it a national?
Yeah.
Part of a national group?
Yeah, it is a national group. So PCA is national. And then you have several chapters around. The local chapter here is one of the biggest in the country. And it's funny because my father actually started with British sports cars. I talked him into Porsches when, as I got my teenage years. And it was a lot of fun. And eventually my father ended up becoming the president of the Suncoast region, which is down in Florida out of Tampa. And so he really got bit by the Porsche bug to the point where he was the president of the Porsche Club for a bit. Yeah.
Well, you were destined then, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Well, I understand Mr. David just picked up a nice little Porsche lately.
He did.
I did. Mm-hmm. I did. Rationale for that, just...
I have my theory.
Yeah.
Research.
Well, yes, R&D. I just have to feel, I have to, really experience that vehicle and know all the all the quirks and the difficulties that I would run in, and I can tell you Atlanta traffic, that's the perfect training spot right there. I mean,
imagine so.
Car overheating, your brakes, everything. You can test every system just driving down 85.
Sure, true.
So
hitting those apexes on the off and on ramps as well. Yeah.
So tell us, Chad, about your plans for the team.
Sure.
Where do you see yourself in a year or 2 years? Ideally, what would you?
Yeah. So we're going to be running in Spec Boxster, and I've been doing that. I've ran in Spec Boxster before, and it was a lot of fun. The cars have come a long way as far as. I mean, they're basically built the same, don't get me wrong, but we're doing things that the cars are a little bit safer now, and that we've changed the tires that we use now as compared to what we were using, back in the beginning when Spec Boxster was launched. And so it's a great entry level for people, but it's also, it's a quick car, and it's a lot of fun. It's pretty easy to maintain, and it's very cost effective. And considering racing Porsches and racing cars in general is not usually inexpensive.
No.
But this is an inexpensive way to go racing, and for us to get our name out there and to promote the Firemaker brand, which is our sponsor, and we'll be doing some partnership stuff with those guys. So we're looking forward to that. And then we plan on, David and I's kind of plan is to bring in customers. So if we have some customers that need support, that need to go and need help, getting their car trailered to Sebring, or, up to Watkins Glen or wherever that may be. We do have that capability. And so, yeah, that's the plan. And then eventually, we'll sneak up into, my goal. I have 2 sons, and I'd love to see my sons get back into motorsport. They've both been a little, tied up with college and everything else. And now that they both have done that and got that out of their system and graduated and got all that stuff done, I'd really like to see them get back into motorsport because they're both quick. And that's one of the reasons I do this is, that bonding again. Like I said, how I had with my father, I want that with them. So if we can do that, we'd really like to sneak up into the IMSA GT3 Cup. That's our goal. That's my goal. I think David's on board with that. That's where we want to be.
What's the timeline on that? Since I know nothing about the racing world, and fill us in on how that works.
Yeah, no. So it's really kind of with racing. It's funny. It's not like when if you wanted to go play on the PGA Tour, you practice really hard and then you become a better golfer, and then you try to get into Q school and go into play on the PGA. With this, it's really about money. And, that's the fortunate and unfortunate part, as we sneak up on growing our shop and then being able to purchase a Cup car. And I have driven Cup cars before in the past, and I love it.
Explain that to the listeners that are like me and don't understand.
No, that's fair. So a GT3 Cup car is basically a 911 that they pull off the assembly line, and then it's sent to their motorsports division and converted into a track-built monster.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. And there's a great series that is a supporting series for IMSA, which is going to be running. The GT3 Cup won't be running here, but IMSA will be running here for Petit Le Mans next weekend. So at Road Atlanta, it's a lot of fun. So if you guys are in the area, I highly recommend going to Road Atlanta next weekend. It's a blast.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I've never been to a race. I can remember when I was a child, on Saturdays, I would be at my grandmother's and all the uncles and the cousins were there, and they would stop whatever they were doing, and they would pack up and go to the races on Saturday. I thought, what in the world? But I think if you've got the bug, that's what you need to be doing. So
absolutely.
So one of these days when you guys get rocking and rolling, I'll have to come by and
we'd
check
love to
it
have
out.
you.
And I will require a ride in that Porsche.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'd love
Is
to
that
have
good?
you. Absolutely.
Take me around really fast. That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
You got it.
So as far as the current, are you working on one car right now that you're planning to race, or I heard you mention multiples, but
yeah, we currently have one spec Boxster. We're in the process of building another that will determine if we're going to build that as a rental car or if one of my sons will be driving that car. But that David and I want to build our own car and do it our way. The car that we have was built in collaboration with Valley Motorsports in California. Mm-hmm. Probably the best spec Boxster builder in the country, and they do a great job. So we're going to try to emulate that, but they are in California.
Right.
And I think that David and I can bring that, expertise that they have and the quality that they put into their builds. I think that we can do that here.
Okay.
And so that's our plan.
Okay. Is that your plan too, David? You have any thoughts on that? Anything to add?
Yeah. I think, some of the things that we'll be building on as well as we, build the brand. I think the performance that we will put on the track is just going to reflect, our expertise, working on the vehicles, Chad as well, showing off his skills and his ability to coach as well. So part of the, of what HR Motorsports will probably provide in the future is just coaching, hopefully giving opportunities to young drivers, providing sponsorship, those kind of situations that, really talented drivers sometimes don't get those opportunities. And I've personally seen a lot of drivers with a lot of talent that should be at higher levels really don't get that exposure. So as we kind of build within the community and network with other companies and build their sponsorship, we just hope to be able to give that back to the community and really just be a great representation for the sport itself.
Okay. You hit the keyword exposure. For any business, it's exposure. You got to get out there. You got to have the confidence to get out there, even when you're not ready yet.
Correct.
Get face time. And some people would say, fake it till you make it. But, I don't know how far that goes. Well, speaking of exposure, let's talk a little bit about your sponsor that you have.
Sure.
Who wants to go for that?
Jump in, David.
Sure. It's not that we do this in combination here, but it's one of the it was one of the locations that we've discussed the most about, the whole process of putting HR Motorsports together, and the connection that Chad has with that brewery. We have a great relationship with them. They're super excited at the potential of what we're building, and the exposure that they can get to the market that we can expose their brand to as well.
Right.
So it works hand in hand, and the kind of social media exposure that we're going to provide for them is going to be fantastic, and they're actually going to collaborate with us on creating a label and a specific drink that is going to be motorsports themed.
That's
so
cool.
It's really, really exciting.
You have any comments on that, Chad?
Yeah, we do. It is really exciting, and we're not real sure what that beer is going to be called. I have a couple ideas, and David and I have discussed a couple ideas, but we've been working with, if you haven't been to Firemaker, it is more than a brewery or little microbrew. It is a beverage company. So they do offer multiple things, and they're getting into the distilling portion as well. So they'll be distilling their own bourbons and rum and tequila and vodka and all kinds of stuff. And then they have all sorts of stuff. They have a spiked coconut water, and they've got some really neat products. And then they also make their own coffee too. So Elliot Hall is the CEO and founder, and he is a really, really sharp guy. And it's been a lot of fun to work with him. My fiance works with Elliot. And so that's where that partnership kind of started. Gotcha. I told Elliot, I was like, you don't just get one of us. When you hire one of us, you get both of us.
Yeah.
And they have a beer called Calamity Jane, which is very popular, and it is the official beer of the PGA. And so they're very tied into the PGA, and they've always been tied in, with golf and associated with that. However, this is a different market for them. So we're going to do we'll do the motorsports version of what they've been doing with the PGA and with golf. And it's just something a little different,
I think I read somewhere that they were number 2
in
the country.
Yeah,
right?
they've been voted number 2 a couple times, and they're up for some awards right now. Those results may be coming out here in the next couple of weeks, but they are, constantly getting all kinds of awards for being the best brewery in Atlanta. So it's great.
See, I did my research.
I do. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Well, do you guys have anything else you want to add to any of this? I mean, it's so exciting starting a business, but even more so, I would think, racing, because there's so much excitement and so much energy and power. Even for those of us that have no clue. But, I did have a dream of driving a Porsche really fast around a track at one point.
We'll make that happen.
And I'm a fast driver. I'm a lead foot, so I'd probably be good.
We'll make that happen.
Am I hired?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You might regret that choice, but it would be fun finding out. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's we really appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with you and to introduce ourselves. It's been great.
I'm so glad that you're here, and keep us posted on what's going on. They do have an Instagram account, HR Motorsports. Are you on Facebook?
46.
46. Okay.
So the big 3: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and HR Motorsports. 46.com is going to be live very soon.
Okay, good.
And you can follow all of our links, sponsors, news. We're actually going to try to document some of our journey as well on YouTube. So we're going to try to do a little docuseries just about the whole process and how it goes. And hopefully, we can record our process from going from, spec Porsche all the way to, GT3 Cup. It's going to be amazing.
I think that's a smart thing to do. Again, exposure, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So get as much as you can, as fast as you can.
Yes.
So do we have anything else we need to go over? Are you guys ready to rock and roll and get things going?
Yeah, we got to go to work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Can you fly? Do you breathe fire? Do you have a long tail? No worries. Most of us don't either. A fire maker is someone who playfully embraces life and creates a spark within the world. They dream of the impossible and make it a reality. Fire makers are the free thinkers, the go-getters, and the audacious explorers. They are always illuminating themselves and their community. To visit or to learn more about Fire Maker Brewing, please visit firebeer.com.
Thank you. Let's wrap this up now. Guys, it was so awesome to have you here. I got a little education. I'm sure I'm not to anybody's level that would really understand the racing, but that was a start, and it was fun.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
This is Chasing Excellence, and I am your host, Kathy Hogan, and let's go get it.